Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year's Eve? I'm your host, Michael Devine. This is Great Matters Radio. What's going on, everyone?
What's happening?
I'm doing good. We got we have a nice little guest here, don't we? The lovely Jillian Devine, my much, much better, more attractive half.
Younger, too.
Yes, she is younger, too. I like younger blondes. What can I say? You know, when you marry one, I guess it's okay to say that on the air. I like married, younger blondes. They happen to be married to me.
Just a coincidence. You woke up one day.
It's a coincidence, right?
It just happened like that.
It just happened. It was kind of weird. I kind of wake up sometimes and going, man, really, I kicked my coverage on this one, but it's all right though. You know, she's a good sport. It's a celebration. It's New Year's Eve, even though when you guys will be listening to this, it'll be New Year's Eve, but it's the Eve for us. So we're doing a special show. It's New Year's, right?
Okay. What if they're traveling on a plane and it crosses the international date line and they're listening to it at the stroke of midnight?
Well, it depends. I mean, are you with a mogwai, like a gremlin? Because now we're going to get into some serious kind of dilemmas of, you know, if it's past midnight, their stomachs, they multiply, are they going to turn into the evil ones? I mean, there's so many different questions. I mean, it was always
That's what I love about you. You always ask the tough quesqueses.
The hard,
the ones that other hosts
questions.
Are afraid to
like, you know, I know.
He always throws the curveball.
I try to, though. I like to keep people like on edge, like ask questions that totally perplex them. Like I'll do that to my clients like all the time, and they look at me like I'm crazy. But then I kind of enjoy it. I know it's all right though. But yes, it's New Year's Eve, and we've made it a full year, over a full year on this show. I remember doing a New Year's Eve show. This is actually one of the first shows that you were on. We did our special little. We were dressed up like we're conspiracy theory people, right? You know, that was actually.
I mean, it's not really, you know, it's not paranoia if they're really out to get you. I think that's what I told you on that show, and that's still a year later rings true. So,
but it's crazy. I mean, like we've been doing this show. We started doing the show October of last year. You know, we switched networks, created our own 614 all day. But yeah, it's crazy. Here we are a year later. A lot of different shit has happened, you know, besides our show getting better like it should. I mean, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we're getting better at it, I think. You know, I mean, people are watching.
We have our moments. We
have good shows. I mean, you and I have had our moments on the show.
I will say that, you know, we're in the Gray Matters, and Jill, I don't know if you will agree with this or not, but I feel like Divine's hatred of Trump has grown exponentially over the last year. He'll deny it. He'll say no. But if you look at the tweets and the Facebook posts and from Gray Matters, which comes from the mind of Mike Devine,
you know,
I think the proof is in the pudding. Audience, you tell me, what do you think? I get on Mike all the time about it. He's like, no. I'm like, it's okay.
I don't think it is any mystery to the listeners that I'm not a giant fan of the Trumper. You know?
The Trumper, call him the Trumper.
The Orange Mist. I'm not a huge fan of him. You know, I'm not a huge fan of him, but it's okay though. I mean, it's okay. You know, it's all right. You can like him, you can dislike him.
And that's
cool.
Okay.
And it is okay, right? Mm-hmm. So what do we got in store? You know, so we were kind of debating about, hey, like, what do we want to do for the show, right? I mean, number one, my wife had off, so once, instead of hearing us argue through the air vents, she gets to join us. So that's the first special. I mean, that's special. We can talk about nothing and just look at her all day, you know? And it's going to be a great show. But, all right, obviously, we just can't look at my wife on YouTube, because if you fucking do, I'm going to cut you.
Yeah, so that really just came out bad.
So, yeah, you know. So, but it's like, hey, like, what did we want to do for the show? So we came up with some cool ideas. Now, the one thing that we definitely really wanted to hit upon, well, we're going to hit this, we're going to close the show up on this one. My personal favorite thing, we always do a what the fuck moment, all right? And so I'm going to start off with it, but we'll come back to it. So Trump on Christmas Day tweeted out that, hey, we need to have more understanding and listening to each other a lot more. And I'm like, hey, that's not a bad message. Maybe the guy's going to turn it around. Like I've called for on the show and pleaded with him. Like, hey, dude, come on, call it off, right? Only like 5 minutes later, Eric Trump Jr. launched the new Trump campaign website, snowflakevictory.com. How to argue and beat your snowflake relatives over the holidays. So I don't know exactly how that fits in with understanding and listening and all that. So I guess we'll find out later on the show, but yeah, that's one big thing because it's gray matters. We can't just have all fun on here. That's the show wouldn't be.
That is kind of funny though. They launched a website called Snowflake Victory.
It is funny, but it's just the context of it. But hey, we'll argue that here in a second, right?
It'd be like Obama if you would have launched a website and it was called like I don't know, like Bible thumping losers or something.
I mean, can you
that.
imagine?
Like, can you imagine the outrage?
Wait, seriously, can you imagine?
Obama's campaign had something along those lines.
But I mean, imagine if like Malia or Sasha made their own website, and basically said it like GOP bigots, victory.com. It's like there's no the GOP would have a field day with that, and so it's just fuck it, I'm not gonna that's the world we live in, so I'm not gonna get all Jerry on us on that one, but we're gonna start with something more fun today.
What could be more fun than that?
I don't know. You actually had an amazing idea, and actually I love your idea.
I never get her on the show. I feel like I'm on the show and I come up with these amazing ideas, and every week you're like, you're stupid, and I'm like, but I love you, and you're like, no,
that's fucking dumb. If only like Bill I think is trying to like goad me into like maybe like a workers' comp claim, because like he'll be like, you should be recording this as we're talking like after a show debriefing. I'm like, why do you want to record this?
I feel like sometimes our best discussions / arguments happen off the air. But they just do. I don't know why.
It's always like that. We were with our guest we had a couple weeks ago. We were doing our little pre-production little thing, and we were just like, "Oh my God, say that for your," and because he's a podcaster, and Kevin was like, he goes, "Damn it! Like I always do this. We have these amazing conversations in pre-production, and then you have to manufacture it." So
well, from now on, just record everything you do all day long, 24 hours a day, and then I will do the same, and then we can splice it, or we can keep like an earpiece in all the time, and.
I don't know if my clients would like that too much. That might be like a HIPAA violation.
Totally.
I don't know if I can get away with that.
Mike, Alexa spies.
Jill,
I mean, they could be de-identified.
Alexa spies on us, Jill. The government spies on us. North Korea and Russia.
Right.
I mean, what's the difference if Divine and myself now?
That's true.
Come on. Come on.
They just heard you.
I know. I told you the conspiracy. We need to bring that back soon. We need to have like once a year. What's the latest conspiracy? Although I haven't really heard.
I was actually wanting to do that. I was trying to figure out how much we can, get into this show. I'm like, all right, at least in January. I think we should end January with a good conspiracy theory show. So,
okay.
All right, we will. I promise we'll do that.
Now, is this going to be an old conspiracy or a new one?
Well, I actually it was one of the things I was thinking about for the show, and I knew I didn't want to do like a 5-hour show for New Year's because most people are probably going to listen like 30 minutes of it. But they actually had all the UFO sightings and the statistics for all of 2019 and what's changed, and there's been a lot of changes. So I was actually really excited to go into it and talk about it. I know my dad.
All right,
so we will do that,
and
we have a good couple guests lined up beginning of the year. That's the cool thing about having a show where we're getting some good listeners and traction. We actually get some really cool guests, so I'm really excited by that. But so one of the thoughts that you kind of have, I was like, one of my ideas was, hey, let's do like our best Trump quotes from the year, tweets, whatever. Bill was like, I got a better idea. What if I read you guys a quote, something, and you have to figure out did Michael Scott say it from The Office or did Donald Trump say it? And I'm like, I love that idea, and it is a great way to kick off our Snowflake show.
We should have had like cards.
Right. Well, there wasn't enough time. I just kind of, and I preface this with saying is because I don't think that Trump. I mean, I don't disrespect Trump. I mean, I've been a Trump supporter, and we'll see. We'll see in 2020 too. I mean, right as of right now, I think I'm going to lean toward, but we'll see. There's still some time to go.
Lots of time to go.
My vote's not. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not a Republican. That's the best part. A lot of people think I am. I've absolutely not. I voted for Obama in the previous election. So. But no, I just sometimes some of the things that the Trumper, as you call him, says,
like Orange Mist,
can be less than presidential or
drink.
It's like a wrestler, like gold dust. But he's like the Orange Mist. He's not gold.
I agree.
Although he likes sitting on a gold toilet. But
Really bad orange soda.
Orange Mist.
I feel like Trump. We
brought to you by the people who couldn't get Sierra Mist approved.
Too carbonated and a little too tangy.
It's good.
Yeah, but that's Trump.
Okay.
A little tart,
a little too tangy for
a
you.
little strong on the front end.
Too tart.
Yeah,
Burns really bad.
Really creates
when it
sometimes
goes down.
Yeah, it has a habit of
It's hard to digest.
Comes back up.
Causes UTIs.
Diarrhea of the mouth sometimes.
May cause irritable bowel syndrome.
Well, no, I mean sometimes
leaky bowel or watery or doo-doo butt.
What are you talking about? What am I at on here?
Mud butt.
You left Bill speechless.
I don't even know what I'm saying. What was I saying?
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. It's what orange mist causes.
You were
Causes
saying
mud butt.
how you probably are
Anal
going to vote for
leakage.
Trump, even
No,
though you're
no.
not a
It's like
Republican.
cholesterol.
I'm telling. I was prefacing this little game we want to do about Michael Scott. Who said it? Michael Scott, Steve
Yes.
Carell's character,
Okay.
Michael Scott
Let's
from
get
The
back on
Office,
track.
or did the 45th president of the United States
Thanks,
say
Joe.
this year? And I'm saying this with all love because, I used to think that George W. Bush was. He needed to stop speaking.
A
Sometimes.
special kind of special.
But when you hear what Trump says and what he tweets
Totally.
and what he
I
says,
totally agree.
is you're just like,
And then it's like,
I'm like, dude.
after G-Dub was president, then it was like, he has a heart.
Yeah.
He is like the most compassionate man. He
I know.
is like
Him
an
and-
artist.
Him and Michelle like each other.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
great best friends.
I have so much more.
Like, where was this?
I have
I
so
know.
much
As a
more respect
president, he
for
had-
George W.
Now? Oh, yeah.
Dude than I did.
I actually do,
I did
too.
not.
I
I
did,
did not
really
like
did.
the man at all.
The thing I always said about George W. is that I don't necessarily think he was like the brightest apple in the barrel, but the thing is he cared and he had empathy, he had a heart, and he truly believed what he was doing. That was the best thing. Just like delegating off his power. I mean, and I can understand that. I can respect that. I don't agree with a lot of his decisions, but he was a good person. And I think anyone that would argue anything else is just being obtuse and just being totally partisan. But yeah,
did people know that when he was in office?
I don't think so. No.
That's the thing.
I have noticed as a guy that
But
somehow
do we think Trump is a good person?
no, he has a history of
I don't
not
know if
being
he's
a
a
good
good
person. though.
person. Like, not good as
No.
in like he's going to go and volunteer and he's not going to feed the homeless and he's not like he is very much what's his name's character from the movie Wall Street, Gordon Gekko.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very much so. I mean,
Well, that's his era that he grew. Greed is
that's his
good.
error, whether
Yeah.
he really is that or that's what he wants to be perceived as. Now I know he's kind of, he's presidential, so he's a little more now. But I don't.
Presidential. That's
And
funny.
I just don't, he's known for one of the things he did was maybe hug the American flag, like at the campaign. Nothing against Donald Trump. I just don't think he was doing that prior to running for office. Like, I put
would
out
you
an
do
American
that?
flag in front of my house, and
Never.
I just,
because
well, I'm not
he's a
saying you have to
Trump.
hug it, but I mean, but not
It's
like,
not even like a
not
genuine
literally, but I mean
gesture.
figuratively. Like, I don't see him. I don't know. I just stuff like that. I'm like, that's just good for him, but it just seems so like,
Awkward.
wow, that's convenient. Now you love it.
I still stay by he has Asperger's or something. Like he just doesn't quite get it. Like he just has no. All right, well, I'm not going to get into that. That's,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start here. Jill, I would like to start with you. We'll give you the first shot at it. There again, there's no wrong answers here. I try to get into kind of matchups. I've only got a couple here, but I just wanted to see what you guys think, and I try to get them. Try not to make it too obvious, but sometimes with these guys, it can be maybe a little obvious.
Yeah.
So I apologize in advance if you're just like, oh, I've seen every episode of The Office probably 10 times, so I feel like I could get. But some of these quotes I forgot, so maybe, but some of them you're going to probably know. But anyways, let's have fun with it. So, all right, we're going to first talk about international American Canada relations. so to
Is
speak.
this starting? Is this already?
This is starting. So
Okay, we're going.
here's the first
Here we
quote.
go.
We get a preface, like a background.
Well, I'll just give you kind of
Wow.
a general idea here. So
Okay.
I'm trying to get the quotes are kind of similar. Again, it's kind of hard to match them up.
Yeah, you put some thought into it. Way to go.
Not really, just
Yeah.
Okay,
Where was that in school?
it was outside in the parking lot, probably smoking a doobie or
Probably. Yeah.
Strike that from the
Did
record.
that?
Actually, no, actually, I did not. Actually, I really didn't. I don't even have that for instance. I really didn't. That's the best part. So,
This is actually a funny story. I'll let you.
oh,
Bill, all
yeah.
right. So Bill, all right. So this is like when we were. This is like when I was we were all at Columbus State, and I remember like there was somebody like said you didn't go to class that day or you didn't take your test, and like some of it I forgot, right? And then it was immediately we were watching wrestling, and then someone asked a random question about WrestleMania and like in the 80s, and he goes, "Oh, that was WrestleMania in 1983. That was at the Detroit Pontiac Silverdome. That was an amazing main event." Because the thing you have to understand about, I'm like, well, wait a minute. You can remember a random wrestling event, where it was at, the date, the undercards, and even like who's supposed to be on it, but you couldn't remember when your fucking test was. And I'm like, that is Bill Reed in a nutshell.
You know what the problem was? My theory
Dana-
was
Dana
El
have-
Nino.
El Nino. That was going to be
I
my
think that's what
the gravitational pull,
Because
the angle, the dangle.
El Nino was like for like a whole year, like a whole season. Like that whole year, I was just
Create like a little brain fog.
yeah. When you're 19, you have all your priorities together. So
Yeah, Bill was just very selective with what he decided to find stuff. He turned out all right. I mean, it was just really funny at the time.
He could say a whole lot back, I'm pretty sure.
No,
Oh, he
no,
could, yeah.
I don't care. I don't care.
Wait till it's the armchair's turn.
It was two decades ago. I don't care. I couldn't care less. Here's what I do care about.
All right, here we go.
I think, and I quote, I think Canada is happy. But they're not happy like we're happy. But they're very happy. Do you think Michael Scott said that? Or do you think Donald Trump said that?
Trump.
Mike Devine?
I'm gonna say Michael Scott.
Okay. Now hold on. Let me read you another one here.
Are you keeping score so we actually know? Like, is there like an answer key?
Well, I just want to kind of just give you a hint.
Baseline. Actually, wrong. That was Colin Powell in 1987.
I tried to live the dream. But the good thing about the American dream is that you can just go to sleep and try it all again the next night. This is the opposite. This is the opposite person.
I'm actually gonna. Ooh.
So this is.
Can I change my answer?
You can do whatever you want.
I'm gonna say the first one was Trump. That one was Michael Scott.
And you say the first one was Trump, and this one is
Michael Scott.
You are both correct.
Yes.
You
Ding
are-
ding 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 ding.
The only thing that gave it away with the first one was the repetitiveness of his statement.
Yeah, right.
They're very
well,
happy.
again, trying to find
Not
something that
saying
matches
they're
up.
happy, but that they're very happy. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's all...
Yeah. Oh,
Very,
absolutely.
very happy.
Tremendous.
Bigly happy.
Now these aren't all going to match up, but these were just kind of some that I just thought, who could do say this, but these two guys. All right, so let me find the other one here was. Okay. And we're going to talk about some information. Hopefully this isn't too obvious, but it is talking about getting your information. Wikipedia is the best thing ever. Anyone in the world can write anything they want about any subject. So you are getting the best possible information. Who said it, Jill?
Trump.
Can you say it with like a different context, almost like an accent?
I'd rather not. I was trying to keep it very very non-regional
I'm gonna
fiction.
I'm gonna say Trump.
Okay, you say Trump. And let me read you the other one. Some of the most dishonest people in the media are the so-called fact checkers.
Oh,
So
that.
it has to be one or the other. Can they both be?
It
one
has
and
to be
same
one or the
person?
other. And again, I
Okay.
do this because I'm trying to, I don't know. Again, this is what we're going to do. I don't know why we're going to do it that way. You can switch your answers. But so I try to get stuff that was like...
The first one sounded too smart for Michael Scott, but
I thought you were going to say
maybe
Trump.
it was him.
Maybe Michael Scott and Trump should debate. Remember when Michael went to the, he was a guest speaker at Ryan's business school?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He'd be really good at diversity day too.
Oh my gosh. Prison Mike? I think Prison Donald needs to come out. Prison Donald.
Gangster Donald.
Okay,
Oh.
so who's
I
fact
think
check?
I want to flip it.
I'm gonna say Trump to the second one, and Michael Scott was the first one.
Was the Wikipedia?
Yeah.
You are both correct.
Yeah.
All right. You guys see, you're getting.
Yeah.
We know
I
we're
knew
Trumpers.
he said the dishonest people in the media and fact checkers, but I was like, I could see Michael Scott trying to say that.
You know what I
too.
hate about facts? They're real.
Right.
They're real.
They're real. Damn it. They've done
Just
it to
damn.
me again. Damn facts, I will outlaw all of them. All right.
They're real facts. Very real. So real facts.
I love
I
facts.
have one of the great inventions in history. It's called TiVo. I think it's actually better than television because television is practically useless without TiVo, right? Who said it?
That has to be Michael Scott. That sounds like something he would say.
Jillian
Sounds
Devine?
repetitive like Trump, though. But why would Trump be talking about TiVo? It was so Michael Scott years.
Why would Michael
Why
Scott
is
be talking
why,
about
all right,
TiVo?
why was Trump talking about half the things that he talked about in any of his
All right,
speeches?
well, let her decide.
Say it again. Can you say it again?
Yeah,
Repeat
sure
the
can.
statement.
Absolutely. I have one of the great inventions in history. It's called TiVo. I think it's actually better than television because television is practically useless without TiVo, right?
I'm gonna say Michael Scott.
You say Michael Scott, and who did
I'm gonna
you
say Michael Scott.
All right, let me read the other one here.
But I can totally see it going the other way.
Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. You like that, don't you? I try to get some that you're like, boy, I really don't know who could have said that, because and these are real quotes, by the way, folks. These are not made up for entertainment value. These are accredited quotes from, the real Michael Scott, who doesn't exist, but that's not the point. I can read them again if you want. I got spare time.
Oh, man.
I'm enjoying this, by the way.
Oh, shit. I guess Trump. I'm going to go, if Michael Scott was the first one, I'm going to say Trump on the second one.
Is that what you say as well?
Yeah.
God,
I
it
don't feel
pains
good
me.
about it.
You guys actually have them backwards.
Yeah.
Oh.
Michael
Sounds
Scott said,
afraid of-
Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy, both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. And it
What the hell was Trump talking about with fucking
I
TiVo?
don't know, but he was.
Why?
What
Is this
year
a
is
recent
this in?
quote?
This
When's the
was
last time someone
2019.
when's the last
Jesus.
someone even used TiVo? I mean,
Why?
But I'm just telling you. Okay. All right. Here's another one. Okay, we'll do one more here. Just one more to unless you want to keep going. I got a bunch of them here, but
Okay.
God, there's so many good quotes here too. There really is. Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. Who said it? Michael Scott? Or
One more
Donald
time?
Trump? Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
I think that's Michael Scott.
yeah, I agree.
You guys are both correct. All right, let me do one more. I guess I've been working so hard. I forgot what it's like to be hardly working.
One more time?
I guess I've been working so hard. I forgot what it's like to be hardly working.
I don't think that's Michael Scott. That sounds like something he would say.
Could be Trump while he's in Mar-a-Lago. What is it? Mar-a-Lago?
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 What do you think, Joe? Come on.
I'm going to say it's Trump.
It was Michael Scott.
Dang. You suck.
Oh, gosh. There's so many of them. All right.
I got one.
Sure.
And now it's not Michael Scott, but I got one for you. Is it a schizophrenic or Donald Trump?
Oh, God.
All right. All right. Okay. I'm so angry, even that painting has a headache. Versus, she was bleeding badly from a facelift. She was
That's
bleeding.
got to be Trump. Facelift. He would say that about a woman, right? That's Trump. All the way. Come on.
So either I'm so angry, even that painting has a headache. Versus, she was bleeding badly from a facelift.
Schizo's the first one. Trump's the second one.
What was the first one again?
I am so angry, even that painting has a headache.
Schizophrenic.
What'd you say, the first one?
Schizo and then Trump.
Yeah, no, you got that one right.
Schizo.
Isn't that pathetic, though, that you had to think that hard with schizophrenic?
I had to really
Or
think
Donald
about
Trump.
how a schizophrenic thinks first.
Well, like there was a famous schizophrenia video. I was trying to look it up, the quotes from it, because there was one I was like, ooh, that's a little inappropriate. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. So yeah, okay. One more, Bill.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if one that's not too obvious from either one.
This is like way too hard. Like I thought it would be like a lot easier.
All right. If you're going to cough, please leave the room. You just can't cough. Boy, oh boy.
That's
Okay,
that's Trump.
Do you want to do that a little differently than
That's Trump.
I think it could be Michael Scott.
that is your president, Donald
Yeah.
Trump.
He
Look,
unloaded
I just
on
wanna
Mulvaney.
believe the good in him.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah, literally, his secretary or his
You knew
his
that
chief
already?
his chief of staff started coughing during an interview, and he literally said that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's our president, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's the thing: is I've kind of tuned out the last year.
Make-
at
make Am-
least
make
for
America
my own
great again.
mental health. I had to just stop listening.
Yeah, you must kind of have to do that.
I just can't.
I'm gonna stop listening to all of them. You must have to.
I can't.
I say dance, They say, how high?
The drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket?
No.
Okay. Trump?
She's correct.
Oh,
Michael
she knew that
Scott.
one. That was a quick one. Why is it?
I mean, we could
This
go
is
on for
pathetic,
the entire
man.
time. That's just been the whole show. It's just like who said it. So,
But no, that was a good. That was it, man. It's laugh. That was a good one. That's our president, ladies and gentlemen. I love it.
And again, I say with all respect to Trump, but some of the things he tweets, especially the tweets, is just, I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
It's all right. So, the last thing I was going to the last little fun thing I thought we can kind of do to kick off this little show, kind of thought like, what are our best and worst moments of 2019? Like the thing that you look back on, wow, that was awesome about 2019. And then 2019 also the
personal, or are we talking about?
and it can be anything. It can be anything. It can be anything. Just your favorite thing about 2019, your like most low point 2019. Yeah,
Man,
I know. I guess I could go first.
Please.
So my favorite moment of 2019 was actually recent. The Dallas Cowboys getting booted from the playoffs by the Philadelphia Eagles.
That was it. That was the number.
That was my favorite. Yeah, that was my absolute favorite moment of 2019. It took until the 29th, so it took 363 days. But I had a uplifting, positive moment from 2019.
That's good.
Yeah. Worst moment of 2019. If I'm gonna be, I would honestly say the whole fucking impeachment proceeding is probably the lowest moment. I mean, that's probably the lowest moment of our fucking history. But 2019, yeah, the whole fucking impeachment proceeding. It is just it's one thing if this guy was like fucking selling secrets to, the Russians and all that. I mean, I'm not saying what the guy did was right, but just what's playing out in this country as a result of it. And just the fact that they carried through that and gave into the progressive. It's just like this low kind of moment where you're just like, really? Like, great. So now every president from here on out is going to try to be impeached. And it's just, yeah.
Real quick before we get into it, because you brought it up, I got to bring it up real quick. Do you think, since Nancy Pelosi, as the Speaker of the House, has not sent the articles of impeachment to the Senate yet, and there has been some talk about if Trump is technically impeached yet or not. Now, I've seen several legal scholars saying that he's not technically impeached. They held a vote for impeachment, but he's not. The history will not show that he's impeached until the articles of impeachment, which are the actual charges against him, are delivered to the Senate, and which Pelosi and she may never. Yeah. I think eventually she will. But how do you think the history? And I've heard several, actually Harvard law professors or ex-Harvard law argue both ways, saying, no, the votes is the impeachment. When you vote for it, he's impeached. And other people saying, no, the articles of impeachment, which actually carry what the charges are, have to be sent out or sent or given to the Senate. That's what actually makes, because without that happening, then you don't, it's like, it would be like arresting somebody, but then you never actually charge them with a crime. And you're like, well, we arrested him. You're like, yeah, but you never follow through.
I don't know, Joe, what do you think? Do you think?
I can see it going both ways. My understanding was that's what the articles of impeachment does. Like, that formally brings the charges, and without that,
the definition of impeachment
it's
pretty simple.
I looked it up. It was to charge someone with,
I think it's going to be like Clinton. You don't sit there and go, they impeached Clinton. You look at they tried to impeach him. But they sent
the articles of impeachment to the Senate, though.
I think I don't know if they'll. I think if they send it, it'll be like Clinton.
Oh,
they tried to impeach him.
He'll be marked as
if they don't send it, I think it'll be the same thing. They tried to impeach him, but they didn't.
Really upset about this. Some people are like, he's impeached. Reminds me that there's two women and the cat meme that everyone, he's impeached. Other people are like, not without the articles of impeachment.
I almost think
that meme needs to go.
I think a lot of people don't even understand.
I know.
Like, I think a lot of people think because Congress voted on it, like he's impeached. I don't think people realize there's a whole fucking trial.
Impeach was just like the process of like.
It is. It's to charge. You're being charged with something. It's basically
of like investigating the validity of the things that happened.
That's what impeach basically means. I mean, they use it for elected officials. It's the same thing, but that's what the term is. It's being charged with wrongdoing or a crime.
I guess me personally, and I think that's a technical. I look at it as if you not only drew up the articles of impeachment, then the Senate tried you and then convicted you and impeached you. That to me is you were impeached.
I used to
Nixon
think that too,
was not.
President Clinton came along. I was like, impeached. Like, he's gone. They're like, no, you're impeached. You stay in office. I'm like, what? That's kind of like I don't know. It's like not having a good ending. You expect something, and you're like, wait, you're not going to do it? Like, oh, come on, man. You just said you was impeached. Like,
motherfucker.
I got a news alert. Like 10 of them. That's it.
Yeah.
He was impeached. It's
Well,
like,
that's the thing is, like, I see it in people arguing, going, the legal
Must be
scholars,
true.
some are going, no, he's not technically impeached if they don't deliver the articles of impeachment because
Yeah.
that's what the articles actually do. And people say, no, once you vote, he's impeached. I'm going, well, I don't know. Like, otherwise, why have the articles of impeachment? Anyway, I just was curious if you thought about that because I see people kind of arguing online about that. And I'm like,
yeah, it's just arguing like over stupid shit that doesn't even really matter.
I know,
it's
but everyone wants to
like,
put like an asterisk next to his. Hey, you know how it is nowadays. Everyone gets upset. Not my president. Other people are like, it is your president. And it's like,
nah.
I don't really care. Like, we're gonna have another one in,
Oh, he's my president.
or 4
I
years.
still
or,
fucking like him.
it just. But anyway, all right. I just was curious.
All right,
You
so-
brought it up.
It's all right. So your best and worst moments, 2019.
Best moment, I would think would have to be my 40th surprise birthday party.
Oh,
which you guys
yeah.
attended. Fantastic. Love it.
I wish
Love
I
it.
still
love
had the giant blow up head of yours.
Yeah, those are.
I don't know what happened because we were
we
actually going to
had
put it up
one.
here. I don't even know what
Those were
happened.
scattered all throughout Columbus.
I think you may have took
I
it
forgot we
I
because
don't-
we were actually going to put it on
I
the
don't
wall
know that
down
I have
here.
one even. I even to this day, I don't know that I do. You guys blew up like my head, and I don't put one of the
Yeah.
sticks.
We
And
had one.
I know, but
was
I
like in
think
your
he took the
car
one
for
that
a
I had
while.
though.
I don't know. I don't know. I
He
don't
took it
remember.
with you.
Dude. Like I'm gonna remember that. Are you kidding me?
Take it.
He took it like
Just
days,
looks
like a
like a
week
picture.
later.
I don't know. Someone just told me that they took it and stuck it under like the women's stall and freaked because they thought it was someone with our party.
That was your wife.
and it wasn't. That
Totally your wife.
is something. That is such a Jackie thing to do too.
Yeah, totally. Is.
She was probably thinking it was like you or somebody. She was probably laughing her ass off in the stall, like I could just see my head coming over, like under, like
And she left it on the back of the stall. So then in the
Oh.
woman's bathroom, it
I
was
just knew.
just your face when you walk in.
I knew something
The
was
back
up
of
when
the
I was
toilet.
sitting in one of the bars we were at, and this random woman came up to me and she's like, "You're the guy," and I was like, "I am," and she just didn't look. She was like, and I was like, "Thank you." I thought she was like, "Buy me a birthday drink."
Hashtag me too.
No, yeah,
Isn't it me too if like we weren't even there? Like, but my face was.
on my face. I got a match for you. My face and your ass. Wait, no. Remember that joke, Dirt? Worst thing about this year was I thought I was having a stroke, and it turned out it was just a brain aneurysm. So I thought I was dying. That sucked.
Yeah.
But I'm not dying. Not today, anyway.
Hey, brain damage. The struggle is real, man.
We're all dying.
Yeah, that would explain the whole like unfathomed like Trump support.
I don't think so.
Like, right, the
I
logic and
I just went
reasoning
to the doctor,
portion of the
and I-
brain?
the doctor was like, actually, I didn't even go to the doctor. I had an MRI, and they're like, all right, come back in a week from now, and we'll have a follow-up appointment with the doctor. You'll sit down, and we'll go over this, that, and the other. I'm like, boy, this is going to be like Judgment Day. Like, he's going to tell me, like, either you got to get some surgery on your noggin or whatever. So, like, the Saturday before, I get a call from the doctor. Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, it's like less than 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, we don't do anything. I said, oh, so what do we do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, we'll get an appointment on Monday. We do? Yeah, should I still come in? No, I'm just going to say the same thing. Okay, have a good weekend. It's like 2 minutes long. I'm like,
Do you have to go back for like a follow up?
but once a year, got to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, MRI.
Yep. You got a brain.
So just to make sure it doesn't get bigger. But he's like, yeah, there's really nothing nothing we're going to do. It's so small. And I'm like, that's good. I'm like, my brain or the aneurysm?
Did he explain why you have ovaries?
Yeah.
Did he go into that at all? Or
I didn't get a chance to get into him. I was wondering, like, maybe like when I was abducted by aliens and they took me up in the ship, when I think they conducted
whatever, rummy.
something.
Whatever, rummy.
I don't know. I can't prove that. We'll say that for the conspiracy episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a link there.
Maybe.
Jill, besides having another year married to this guy, I know that was the highlight.
No.
Or the low light, depending on what side of the coin you want to look at.
Well, I thought we were going like world best and
Well, you can-
best.
It can be anything. It can be
I'm gonna
anything.
take one of each.
I did the Eagles. You know, knocking out the Cowboys. so.
Personal favorite part of 2019 was our trip to Florida.
Boom, boom.
Eleanor's first time at the beach. She
That was
loved it.
awesome.
She
Yeah, that
still
was
talks
pretty
about
cool.
it. She would move there tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
She
Yeah.
can't stop talking about Florida. So that was fun.
Are we gonna go to Florida? You know, are
Yeah, and then later she found out that that's where Disney World was on the
No,
commercial,
God help
and
us.
then
That's it.
that was it.
That's it.
It
That
was
was
like
it.
betrayal
It's
because we
a
didn't
done
go.
deal. She's up there. She's packing her suitcase right now.
I was like, Disney's in Florida. What did you say?
wait, I was in Florida. What?
And then she started like sharpening knives, and before we went to bed, it started getting really odd in the Divine household. But you know,
You ever see that movie?
The Shining.
Clifford.
Yes.
No, Clifford. with
Different
with
dog?
Martin Short. No, with Martin Short. He
Oh
plays like this
yeah.
little kid, but even though he's a grown guy, his name's
Oh.
Clifford. And like he wants to get.
What was the name of the little imaginary the toy that he had?
Oh, it was
like
it was Stefan.
Stefan. That's
Stefan,
right.
damn
Yeah.
it was a dinosaur. Damn your eyes, Stefan.
Yeah. Charles Grogan was in it. That was
Yeah.
actually a good movie. I've not seen that in a while.
My dad and I love it. Clifford. So they're flying.
Stefan.
The parents are flying with Clifford, who was just a devil child.
Yeah.
And they're flying to, I think, Hawaii or something. And then Clifford realizes that the one place he wants to go more than anything in the world, dinosaur world, right, is in California. So they're on this airplane, and Clifford has to figure out a way. Right. So Clifford decides, and he's supposed to be like, I don't know, 7 years old.
Something like that.
Yeah, very, really young, 10 years old. Even though it's Martin Short, right? But he does it like great.
He's the same height.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And he figures out, well, he's got to get the plane on the ground. So Clifford causes so much commotion they have to do emergency landing to land in like L.A. because that's where Dinosaur World is. And they kick him off the plane. He's got to go stay with like his Uncle Martin.
Now, mind you, he has a little a little plastic dinosaur
named Stefan.
named Stefan. And so Stefan is the one that does everything. Stefan did it. I didn't do it.
It
Oh,
was
God.
Sarah Davis. It was damn your eyes, Stefan. Like Stefan like peeks on this girl in the shower. Damn your eyes, Stefan. He did it.
It's pretty funny.
A couple years ago, my dad got me
Yeah.
a dinosaur for Christmas, and he named it Stefan.
Oh, I'm sure he
And
did.
then I give it to the boys. My boys collect a lot of dinosaurs, and Max was like, "What was my first dinosaur?" I'm like, "Well, it was Stefan, of course."
Stefan.
Oh yeah, it's still around.
I love that movie. So, all right, that was a best moment.
And worst moments, I think, in 2019 is how we've had how many mass shootings and no media play.
Yeah.
It's like one day, I don't know, 50 people died,
Yep.
silence.
Yeah.
It's just become the norm.
Yeah, was it 2019? We
terrifying.
broke the record for the most amount of mass casualty events.
America or the world?
America.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's like just one day of coverage now, if that, and then no one speaks of it again.
No. Oh, what did some former congressman say today? That the reason why the synagogue stabbing happened was because of illegal immigration.
Of course.
That was literally like really.
Well, everyone knows that the Mexicans and the Guatemalans are down and they have meetings and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, now when we get to America, make sure you find out where these synagogues are at because the Jews are the one that are stopping us from And then,
German Nazis have been invading.
yeah, and then we're going to stab them when we get there. Everyone with that? You have to, okay. Like, that's the game plan. Everyone knows that. I don't know. That's so stupid.
that is it. That is the worst.
It's the most, I think,
Yeah.
disheartening. Aside from everything else
Yeah.
that's been disheartening.
Oh, man.
I feel like that
Did
is.
you hear about that church shooter in Texas?
Yeah.
And it was crazy because he walked in with like a shotgun or a rifle. And the guy that took him out was a concealed carry guy.
Yeah.
Who like owned and operated like a targeting range. And he shot this guy at like a moving target at 50 feet or so, or the 50 yards. I was a long way away for under hostile.
Yeah, he was like a former
FBI agent.
Yeah.
And he runs
yeah.
like a target shooting play. But again, I mean, not to like promote guns, but like you're going to get even less media play on that because a gun stopped the mash. It's
So
like,
what's really
geez.
interesting, I was having a really good debate on Twitter today about that, and we were just talking about the guy, and a bunch of people are making comments about like, well, we need more people with guns, and I go, well, this is what's interesting though, because if you look at it was after the Sandy Hook shooting. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was the Joker shooting with the movie theater.
Oh yeah, Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah, and so that's when the first big debate started. They had a couple SWAT tactical, like the guys that train the police for small, like confined area mass shootings and how to like tactically handle it. And one of the things he said, that is a giant misnomer. He goes, because the reality is now, but this guy was different. I'll explain why here in a second. But what he explained was that most people, very trained, like people that are trained to shoot, manage their breathing, manage their emotion in these moments. At most, they'll hit like 1 out of every 7. For every bullet they shoot on a moving target like that, they say it's like 1. It was like 1 in 36 for the normal person who has never been in a situation like that. And he goes, if you get as many, I think they said. Now I need to go back. We were actually trying to find the interview me and somebody on one of our followers, we were trying to find it. We couldn't find it in time for the air. So I definitely want to reach back onto that one for a future show. But one of the things he was saying is, like, if you start getting like over 3 and 4 shooters, like innocent people trying to kill one, now you get a dangerous crossfire of 1 out of every 36 bullets hitting, that you will have more people dead from innocent bullets than people, right? But what was unique about the one that happened this weekend was that was a trained FBI agent who was trained to shoot, trained to manage emotion. So that is an example of, okay, when you're calm, and that was in the video, he was calm. But the reality is, though, most people who have never been a trained soldier, that not is what would have happened. It would have been a radically different situation. The guy maybe would have been dead, but how many shots would it have taken? That guy was 1 shot, 2 shots, and took him out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was impressive. I'm glad that guy had a gun.
Yeah,
but it is like one of those things of, like, if you listen to what the experts say, even the police officers are sitting there going, well, it's at an angle. It depends. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree with you. That is